Hello student, our today's lecture is on the greatest common divisor of more than two integers. As in the previous lecture, we saw the definition of the GCD of two integers. That is any a and b, not both 0, then GCD of a comma b is the largest divisor of a and b. This is the definition for the GCD of two integers, right? In the same way, we see the definition of the greatest common divisor of more than two integers. So we write the definition firstly. So we take the integers which is more than 2. So we consider the integers, considering integers a1, a2 and so on an. Okay, we consider n number of integers that are not all 0. That is, all of these integers are not 0, because if one of them is 0, then we know that the GCD, that is, if all of them are 0, then GCD cannot be found, as we see in the definition of the largest divisor of two integers. So we require that not all 0. Okay, then the GCD of this, as the for the two number, the GCD is the largest divisor of a and b. In the same way, the GCD of a1, a2 up to an is the largest divisor which divides a1, a2 and so on an. The GCD of these integers is the largest integer which is a divisor of all these integers, and we denote it by in bracket a1, a2 and so on an. Now we see the example to have a clear idea of definition, that if we have the numbers 10, 5, 20, then what is the common divisor? Then the GCD of this, that is the largest divisor which divides 10, 5 and 20. So what we have? The divisors of 10 are divisors of 10. That is, the number which divides 10 is nothing but 1, 2. We are taking only positive divisor. Okay, so 1, 2, 5 and 10. These are the divisors of 10. Divisors of 5 are 1 and 5, and the divisors of 20 are 1, 2, 5, 4, 10 and 20 also. Okay, so 5 is the common divisor. Also it is the greatest common divisor, because here the divisors of 5 are not going forward, so therefore 5 is the GCD of this integer. That is, the GCD of 10, 5, 20 is equals to 5. Okay, so as we see in case to find the GCD of two integers, we saw the theorem so that we can able to find the GCD of the more than two integers. Okay, so our theorem is that let a1, a2 up to an be integers and not all zeros. Then that is, at least one of them is non-zero. Then we have to prove that the GCD of a1, a2 up to an is equals to the GCD of a1, a2 and so on. GCD, we find the GCD of the last pair, that is an minus 1 comma an. and then we find the GCD of that all integer. Okay, so what it means that if we have the numbers as we see in this example 10, 5, 20. So see example here firstly and then we go to the proof. So as in the previous example, we have the GCD of 10, 5, 20. So what this theorem says that take the GCD of any pair and then take the GCD of whole integers. So here 10, 5, 20, that is GCD of 10, 5 and 20 is same as the GCD of 10. To find the GCD of 5, 20 firstly, we find the GCD pairwise. So 10 is as it is and the GCD of 5, 20 is what is the common divisor, what is the largest divisor which divide 5 and 20. So the largest divisor is 5. And again in this, what is the largest divisor which divide 10 and 5 is? It is again 5. So to find the GCD, we find the GCD pairwise. That is, and this pair can be taken in any order. That is, we can first find 10, 5, GCD of 10, 5 and then 20. So GCD of 10, 5 is 5 and we write 20 as it is. Again the GCD of 5, 20 is 5. Okay, so in this way the ordering we are taking here for the GCD first, then it is immaterial. That is, we can take any order and then we find the GCD of that and then we find the GCD with other numbers. Okay, so this theorem tells us that the GCD of the largest number, larger numbers or integer is same as find the GCD of pairwise and the ordering of the pair is immaterial. That is, we can take the GCD firstly of A1, A2 or A2, A3 and then with other numbers, right? So let's see the proof of this theorem. To prove this theorem, we denote the GCD of this number as a B and this number, that is for this integers we denote the GCD as D. So we let the GCD of A1, A2 and so on AN is equals to B and the GCD of A1, A2 and so on in bracket AN minus 1, AN, that is we find the GCD of AN minus 1, AN and then we find the GCD of A1, A2 and so on, that is equals to, we denote it as C. So from now we have to show that this B is equals to C. We have to show that B is equals to C. Now to show this, we show that B is less than equals to C and C is less than equals to B in this way. Okay, that is to show, we first show B is less than equals to C, that is B divides C. Okay, B is less than equals to C means B divides C. So let as we have given that GCD of A1, A2 and so on AN is equals to B implies B divides A1, B divides A2, and so on B divides AN. Okay, since B is a GCD, that is the greatest common divisor, so B divides all these integers and therefore we write here B divides A1, B divides A2 and so on B divides AN. So we write here B divides A1, that is B divides A1, B divides A2 and so on B divides AN minus 1, B divides AN. But B divides AN minus 1, B divides AN implies. Now since as B divides AN minus 1 and AN, that is B is the what this implies that b is common divisor, and common divisor divides the GCD. So this implies b divides the GCD of an minus 1 comma an, right? So from this we have b divides a1 comma b divides a2 and so on. B divides GCD of an minus 1 comma an. Therefore, again this implies, again see here, b is a divisor of a1, b is divisor of a2 and so on. B is a divisor of the GCD an minus 1 comma an. So b is a divisor of these integers. Therefore, b divides the GCD of this integer, right? So b divides the GCD of a1 comma a2 comma and so on, GCD of an minus 1 comma an, right? B divide the GCD of this integer, and the GCD of this integer we denote it by c. So we have, this implies b divides c. B divides c is same as b is less than equals to c. We give this as equation number 1. Now we show that c divides b, that is c is lesser than equals to b. So for this, as given that c is the GCD of a1 comma a2 and so on an minus 1, GCD of an minus 1 comma an. So this implies, as c is the GCD of this, therefore c is the divisor of all these numbers or integers. So c divides a1, this implies c divides a1 comma c divides a2 and so on. C divides an minus 1 comma, that is c divides the GCD of an minus 1 comma an. This implies c divides, since c divides GCD of an minus 1 comma an, okay, as c divides the GCD, therefore c is again a divisor of this integer. Therefore this implies c divides an minus 1 comma c divides an. Hence we write here, therefore c divides a1 comma c divides a2 and so on, c divides an minus 1 comma c divides an. So we write this as c divides an minus 1 comma c divides an. So what this implies, as c is the divisor of all these integers, therefore c divides the GCD of all these integers, right? So we write here, this implies c divides GCD of a1 comma a2 and so on, GCD of an minus 1 comma an. Okay, so c divides the GCD of all these integers, but the GCD of all this integer is equal to b. So we have c divides b, since GCD of a1 comma a2 and so on an minus 1 comma an is equals to b. Therefore, as c divides b, this implies c is lesser than equals to b. So as in equation 1, we see that b is smaller than c, and in equation 2, we see that c is less than equals to b. So from 1 and 2, we have c is equals to b or b equals to c. That is GCD of a1 comma a2 comma an is same as the GCD of a1 comma a2 and so on, GCD of an minus 1 comma an. Okay, so GCD, to find the GCD of an integer is same as the finding the GCD of, firstly find the GCD of an minus 1 comma an and then find the GCD of all these integers. Okay, so hence the proof. So we write the remark here that the order of taking two integers at a time is immaterial. What it means, for example, if we have to find the GCD of a, b, c, d, that is, these 4 integers are given and we have to find the GCD of that. Then the GCD of this we take firstly, that is, we write a GCD of a, b, c, d is same as the find the GCD of firstly ab and then find the GCD of c, d. Okay, and or we can take this is same as the GCD of a, GCD of bc firstly find and then take the GCD with a and d. Okay, or we can find GCD of ab and we firstly find the GCD of c, d, etc. That is, we can take any two pair firstly and then we find the GCD of that, and then after that we find the GCD with remaining numbers or integers. Okay, so this is ordering of taking this two pair of integer for GCD is immaterial. We see the example here. Example, we have to find the GCD of 7, 3, 21, 14. Okay, so we have to find the GCD of these numbers. So for this we take the GCD of firstly the GCD of 7, 3 and then we take the GCD of with 21, 14. So we're taking this pair. Okay, so what is the GCD of 7, 3? Since there is no common divisor of 7 and 3 other than 1, so GCD of this is equals to 1 and 21, 14. This is equals to 1. Now we take the pair 21, 14. So which is equals to the 1 and the GCD of 21, 14. So what is the greatest common divisor which divides 21 and 14 is 7. Okay, so this GCD of 21 and 14 is 7 and now the GCD of 1, 7 is equals to 1. Now you can take any pair firstly, that is, you can take 3, 21. So we see this again. So the GCD of 7, 3, 21, 14. Now we take the pair 7. We take the pair 3, 21 firstly. That is, we find the GCD of this number and then we take with the 7, 14. Okay, so GCD of 3, 21. That is the largest integer which divide 3 and 21 also. So the GCD of that is 3 because 21 is in the multiple of 3. So the GCD of that is 3, 14. Now we take the pair 7, 3. Okay, 14. So the GCD of 7, 3 is again 1 and 14 as it is. So GCD of 1, 14 is 1. So in both the cases, that is, if we take any pair, here we are taking firstly 7, 3 and here we take firstly the 3, 21. So we take any pair of integer and first we find the GCD of that and then we find the GCD with the remaining integers. Okay, so this is coming here 1. Now as we see in the last lecture, the definition of relatively prime integer, right? So what is the definition of relatively prime integer? Relatively prime. What does it mean? Just recall this definition. We call the number a, b are relatively prime if the GCD of a, b is equals to 1. Right? So here we get the GCD of 7, 3, 21, 14. That is GCD of all this integer is coming out to be 1. Right? So there must be a definition of something that, as in the case of two integer, we call this as a relatively prime, or there is another word to this as co-prime. Okay. we also called relatively prime means they are co-prime. So in the same manner, in case of the GCD of more than two integers, we have the definition of mutually relatively prime. Mutually relatively prime integers. So we call the integers as mutually relatively prime if the GCD of the integers, that is, we take the integer a1, a2 up to an, and the GCD of that is equals to 1, that is, if GCD of these integers a1, a2, a3 up to n equals to 1, then the integers a1, a2 and so on an are said to be mutually relatively prime. Okay, so if GCD of this integer comes out to be 1, then they are called as mutually relatively prime. There is another definition, that pairwise relatively prime integers. Okay, so we write the definition firstly. The integers a1, a2 and so on an are said to be pairwise relatively prime if each pair of integers ai and aj is relatively prime. Each pair of ai and aj are relatively prime. That is, if we take any two integers from this pair, we take the pair of integers, that is, we take a2, a3, a1, a3 or a2, a4, any pair. Okay, and if the pair of these two integers is relatively prime, that is, their GCD is equals to 1, then they are called as the pairwise relatively prime integers. Okay, for example, here we take that is, if we have example 7, 10, 16, as the GCD is equals to, what is the GCD of this integer? That is a common divisor which divides all this integer, is equals to 1, right? Or we can find in this way that we have seen here. So if we find in this way, we write this as 7, 10 as the first pair, and we take the GCD of that. So GCD of 7, 10 is 1, 16 as it is. Now the GCD of 1, 16 is 1. So we call this number 7, 10, 16 as their GCD is equals to 1. So we call this as a mutually relatively prime integers. Okay, so 7, 10, 16 are mutually relatively prime. Integers. Okay, but to we verify whether it is pairwise relatively prime or not, so we have to take the pair of every integer. So the pair of 7, 10, the GCD of 7 and 10 comes out to be 1. GCD of 7, 16 comes out to be 1. But GCD of 10, 16, what is the common divisor which divides 10 and 16 both is 2. So here this pair, the GCD of that is equals to 2, and hence we say that they are not pairwise relatively prime. That is 7, 10, 16 are not pairwise relatively prime. since the definition says that each pair of integers, that is, we take each pair from the set of integers and they are relatively prime, that is, their GCD comes out to be 1. But here if we take this pair 10, 16, the GCD comes out to be 2, which is not equals to 1, and hence 10 and 16 are not relatively prime, and therefore the GCD of 7, 10, 16 are not the pairwise relatively prime integers. Now see the second example. At 7, 11, 16 are given integers. Now to find the GCD of 7, 11, 16, the GCD comes out to be 1, and if we take the pair 7, 11, so the GCD of 7, 11 is 1. GCD of 11, 16, what is a common divisor or largest divisor which divides 16 is 1, and the GCD of 7, 16 is also 1. So here every pair 7, 11, 11, 16 or 7, 16, every pair are relatively prime, and therefore the integers 7, 11, 16 are pairwise relatively prime. Now let's see the example. We have to prove that here the GCD of a comma b is equals to the GCD of a comma b comma a plus b. That is, if we have three integers and the third one is written as the sum of these two, then the GCD of this integer is same as the GCD of a comma b. Okay, or in general way, if we write the combination of a and b, that is ax plus by, for some integers or for all integer x and y, then the GCD of this three integer is same as the GCD of a comma b. So we prove this, or we write the solution of this example as we let GCD of a comma b is equals to d. Okay, now as GCD, that is d is a GCD of a comma b, so this implies d divides a and d divides b. So as d is a GCD, so this implies d divides a and d divides b. Therefore by definition of divisibility, this implies we can write a as a multiple of d. So we write a is equals to m into d for some integer m, and b can be written as d into n or n into d for some integer m comma n, and these integers are such that the GCD of m comma n equals to 1, that is m and n are relatively prime. Now let's think about why this the GCD of m comma n equals to 1. So think this, and you can comment me why this is equals to 1. Okay, so this implies a is equals to m into d, and we have to prove that the GCD of a comma b comma a plus b is same as the GCD of a comma b. So we consider this term, that is, consider GCD of a comma b comma a plus b, which is equals to the GCD. A is written as m into d, b is written as n into d, comma a plus b is same as the m into d plus n into d, which is equals to, in bracket we have m into d comma n into d, comma we take the common d here, and in bracket we write m plus n, which is equals to d can be taken out common, so d in bracket m comma n comma m plus n. So this is equals to d in bracket. We firstly find out here the GCD of three numbers are there. So we take the pair GCD of m comma n. We find the GCD of first this pair with the m plus n. So this is equals to this is equals to d in bracket. Now since GCD of m comma n we consider here 1, and this is m plus n. Now GCD of 1 with any integer is comes out to be 1, so it is equals to d multiplied by 1, that is equals to d. So the GCD of a comma b comma a plus b is equals to d, which is equals to the GCD of a comma b. So we have GCD of a comma b, a plus b is equals to the GCD of a comma b, right? So the first part, that the GCD of a comma b is equals to GCD of a comma b and a plus b, is proven here. Now to prove the general part, that is if we consider the combination of ax plus by, so we take this and prove that this GCD comes out to be is equals to a comma b. So let GCD of a comma b comma ax plus by is equals to, as a is equals to m into d, so we write m into d, comma b is equals to n into d, comma a is equals to m into d into x, plus b is n into d into y, which is equals to, d can be taken out common. Okay, so d in bracket m comma n comma mx plus ny. Okay, we can take the common d from this, and we take the from this GCD we can taken out common. So d in bracket m comma n, we take the GCD of firstly m comma n, then mx plus ny, which is equals to d. GCD of m comma n is 1. This is mx plus ny. So d GCD of this is equals to 1. So GCD of a comma b comma ax plus by is equals to d, which is equals to the GCD of a comma b. Hence we prove here that the GCD of these numbers a comma b, ax plus by is same as the GCD of a comma b. That is, if we have any two numbers and which is in the form that a is here, b is here, and the sum is here, or the combination of the sum is here, then the GCD of all these integers is same as the GCD of the two numbers, that is a and b. Now we see some more example. So let here a is greater than 1 and m comma n be positive integers. We have to prove that the GCD of a to the power m minus 1 and a to the power n minus 1 is same as the a in the power GCD of m comma n minus 1. Okay, so a is greater than 1 and m comma n be positive integer. So to prove this, we assume the cases that m is equals to n, the first case, and we assume m greater than n. Okay, solution. If m equals to n, then GCD of a to the power m minus 1 is same as a to the power m minus 1. That is, this is, we write n equals to m here. So as these are the same numbers, so the GCD is same as the a to the power m minus 1, which is equals to, now this m can be written as the GCD of m comma m minus 1. So we write the GCD in this form. So for m equals to n, for m equals to n, the result is true. Let m greater than n, then by division algorithm, as m is greater than n, so n divides m, and we write m equals to n into q plus r, where r is remainder, so it is 0 is less than equals to r less than n. Therefore m minus nq is equals to r, where 0 less than equals to r less than n. We give this as equation number 1. Now we consider the term a to the power m minus 1, that is equals to, we can write this a to the power m minus a to the power m minus 1, m minus n to the plus a m minus n minus 1. So we are letting here that we are adding the terms a to the power m minus n and a to the power m minus n. Okay, we are considering this term to express the a to the power m minus 1 as a multiple of a to the power n minus 1, and then we use the theorem that the GCD of a comma b is same as the GCD of the b comma r. Okay, so we see firstly the theorem and then I will again explain it to clear the idea. Okay, so let's see. We are adding this term here, adding and subtracting here. So we write a to the power m as minus n plus n, that is we are adding in the power also minus n plus n, minus a to the power m minus n plus a to the power m minus n minus 1, which can be written as a to the power m minus n into a to the power n, minus the term a to the power m minus n plus a to the power m minus n minus 1. Now we can take the common a to the power m minus 1 from these two terms. So we have what is remain here, a to the power n, here it is 1, and we are taking the common term as a to the power m minus n plus here a to the power m minus n minus 1. Now this is equals to a to the power n minus 1, a to the power m minus n plus a to the power m minus n plus a to the power m minus twice n minus a to the power m minus twice n. Okay, that is we are adding and subtracting the term a in the power m minus twice n, a in the power m minus twice n. So which is equals to a to the power n minus 1, a to the power m minus n plus, we write here a m minus n as m minus twice n plus n. Okay, so minus twice n plus n, we get minus n. We write this term here, a to the power m minus twice n plus a to the power m minus twice n, and this minus 1 here. Okay, we are just arranging, we are arranging the terms here. So it is a to the power n minus 1, a to the power m minus n plus a to the power m minus twice n. Now from these two terms we are taking common a in power m minus twice n, and in bracket we are remain with a in power n, and this is minus 1 plus a to the power m minus twice n minus 1. Now we are seeing here that I am adding the terms a in the powers of a as m minus twice n and subtracting the same term. So we continue this process up to when we have in the multiple of n the term q. Okay, that is q into n should be here. So we continue this process so that we get the more term in the addition, and therefore we write this as a to the power n minus 1 into a to the power m minus n plus a to the power n minus 1, a to the power m minus twice n plus and so on, plus a to the power m minus nq in bracket a to the power n minus 1 plus a to the power m minus nq minus 1. That is, when we add the term we get this term like this. Okay, that is in the power a m minus twice n, and in multiplication a to the power n minus 1 plus a to the power m minus twice n minus 1. That is, with minus 1 we have this term and this term. Okay, so we are writing in the same manner, and this is equals to, that is in the right hand side we have a to the power m minus 1, that is equals to a to the power n minus 1. We can take the common here a to the power n minus 1 from all these terms, right? So in bracket we have a to the power m minus n plus a to the power m minus twice n plus, and continue this up to a to the power m minus nq plus the term a to the power m minus nq minus 1. As from the equation 1, the value of m minus nq, because we write m equals to nq plus r, so m minus nq is equals to r. So we substitute that value, which is equals to a to the power n minus 1 in bracket a to the power m minus n plus a to the power m minus twice n plus and so on plus a to the power, we replace m minus n cube by r plus a to the power r minus 1. So if we see here, we write it here a to the power m minus 1 is equals to the multiple of a to the power n minus 1, because this is comes out to be integer. So multiple of this as a to the power n minus 1 plus we take this as a remainder a to the power r minus 1. So we know the theorem that the GCD, if a is equals to b cube plus r, then GCD of a comma b is same as the GCD of b comma r. So we use this theorem here, that a to the power m minus 1 and a to the power n minus 1 is same as the GCD of a to the power n minus 1 and a to the power m minus 1. So using this theorem, we get GCD of a to the power m minus 1 comma a to the power n minus 1 is same as the GCD of a to the power n minus 1 comma a to the power r minus 1. So by the Euclidean theorem, if we continue this process up to when this r, that is the remainder, should be equals to 0, so we get that is continuing till the last remainder d not equals to 0. We get GCD of a to the power m minus 1 comma a to the power n minus 1 is equals to the GCD of a to the power r minus 1 comma a to the power r1 minus 1, which is equals to and so on, equals to the GCD of a to the power d minus 1 comma a to the power 0 minus 1, which is equals to the GCD of a to the power d minus 1 comma 0, right? So this is equals to the, which is equals to a to the power d minus 1, which is equals to a to the power m comma n minus 1, since d is nothing but the GCD of m comma n. So how it is get here, see, we are applying here m equals to n cube plus r. So we apply the theorem, that is Euclidean algorithm, to this. So GCD of m comma n is equals to GCD of n comma r. Now since r is not 0, so we have GCD of n comma r is same as the GCD of r comma r1, and we proceed this process up to when the last remainder is not 0, that is last remainder we denote this as the d. Okay, so up to when we process here, when the d is not equals to 0 and the d is nothing but the last non-zero remainder, and this last non-zero remainder is same as the GCD. Okay, so GCD of m comma n is same as the d. We continue this process, then we get that a to the power d minus 1 is equals to a to the power m comma n minus 1. Hence, we have that GCD of a to the power m minus 1 comma a to the power n minus 1 is equals to the GCD, that is a to the power GCD of m comma n minus 1, and hence the proof. So we just recall this theorem again, that to find the GCD of that, we apply the division algorithm to m, that is equals to n cube plus r, and we consider the term a to the power m minus 1, and we express this in the form of, that is we are adding the pairs a to the power m minus n, adding and subtracting that term. Then we continue the process of adding and subtracting the term like in the power a to the power m minus twice n minus a to the power m minus twice n, and we continue this up to the when the q is comes out. Okay, so this gives us the a to the power m minus 1, which is multiple of a to the power n minus. So a to the power n minus 1 into, in bracket, we have the sum of integers plus a to the power r minus 1. This gives the, we write here the in the form of a division algorithm, and therefore the GCD of a to the power m minus 1 and a to the power n minus 1 is same as the GCD of a to the power n minus 1 and a to the power m minus 1. So we use this theorem and we write in this form, and we continue the division algorithm for the n comma r up to when the last remainder should be non-zero. Okay, so in that case we apply the theorem on n and r, and therefore we get the term. By continuing this process for n and r, we get a to the power GCD of a to the power r minus 1 comma a to the power r1 minus 1, and which is same as we continue this up to a to the power d minus 1 comma a to the power 0 minus 1. Okay, and since this is equals to 0, so the GCD of a to the power d minus 1 is equals to the a to the power d minus 1, and which is same as a to the power m comma n. That is, d is nothing but the GCD of m comma n, and thus we get the proof, right? Now we take the last example, which is here given by if the GCD of a comma b is equals to 1, that is a and b are co-prime or relatively prime, then we have to show that the GCD of the sum of these two numbers, that is a plus b, and subtraction of these two numbers a minus b, the GCD of this number is equals to 1 or 2. So to prove this, we prove first part, that is we let the GCD of a plus b comma a minus b equals to d. We have to show that d is equals to 1 or 2. Now since as d is the GCD of this, so this implies a plus b comma a minus b is equals to d. This implies d divides a plus b comma d divides a minus b. So if we take the addition of these two, that is d divides a plus b plus, in bracket, a minus b, and d divides the subtraction of these two, that is a plus b minus a minus b. We take the combination of that. So d divides, here bb get cancelled, so we have d divides twice a and d divides twice b, because again a get cancelled, b plus b is twice b. Okay, so this implies d divides 2a plus twice b. We take the linear combination of that, therefore d divides, we can take the common here, and in bracket a plus b, and since the GCD of a comma b is equals to 1, we have to take since d divides twice a and d divides twice b, therefore we have to take d divides the GCD of this two number, 2a comma 2b. Okay, and we take the common here 2, so 2 in bracket GCD of a comma b, and since d divides 2, since GCD of a comma b is equals to 1 here. Okay, so d divides 2, therefore d greater than 0 is a GCD, and d divides 2 implies d is equals to 1 or 2. Okay, so this proves the first part, that is a plus b comma a minus b, that is GCD of this is equals to 1 or 2. Now we prove the second part. So in second, we have to prove that the GCD of a plus b comma a square minus ab plus b square equals to 1 or 3. In proving this, we use the result that if the GCD of a comma b is equals to 1, then the GCD of a to the power n comma b is equals to a comma b to the power n, or this is equals to a to the power n comma b to the power n is equals to 1. That is, if we take the power of a and b, then it is also equals to 1. This is true for all n belongs to capital N, that is natural number. So let the GCD of a plus b comma a square minus ab plus b square, we take it as a capital D, and since this is a GCD, therefore d is a divisor of this two, so this implies d divides a plus b comma d divides a square minus ab plus b square. as D divides A plus B, therefore D divides the multiple of A plus B. So we take in the multiplication of A plus B as A plus B. Okay. And D divides A square minus AB plus B square. So this implies, now D divides this term and D divides this term. So D divides the combination of these two terms, two integers. So D divides in bracket A plus B whole square, that is the multiplication is whole square minus A square minus AB plus B square. So D divides A plus B whole square is nothing but A square plus twice AB plus B square, and by opening by minus sign we get the in bracket minus A square plus AB plus minus B square. So D divides A square get cancelled, B square get cancelled, so it is equals to 2AB plus AB is 3AB. So this implies D divides 3AB. As D divides A plus B and D divides 3AB. This implies D divides 3A into A plus B. We take the multiplication of A plus B as 3A and D divides 3AB. So this implies D divides 3A, that is combination of this, that is 3A square plus 3AB minus this term 3AB. Okay, so this implies D divides 3A square. Similarly, we can show D divides 3B square. By applying the same process, we show that D divides 3B square. So this implies, therefore, D divides 3A square and D divides 3B square. Therefore, D divides, as D is a common divisor of these two, therefore D divides the GCD of 3A square comma 3B square. Now we can take the common 3 here. So D divides 3 in bracket A square comma B square. Therefore this implies D divides 3. Since by result GCD of A square comma B square equals to 1. As the GCD of A comma B equals to 1, therefore GCD of A square comma B square is equals to 1. So D divides 3. This implies D is equals to 1 or 3. Because D is a GCD, therefore D is either equals to 1 or 3. Hence we will end this lecture with this example here, and we see in the next lecture, that is we see the least common multiple. Okay, so thank you.